Ladies and, so to speak, gentlemen, someone suggested to my wife that it might be nice if I gave some sort of lecture here today, open to the general public, with the proceeds to go to charity. That's fine by me. A lecture, why not, really? What do I care? Of course, you understand I'm not a professor, I'm devoid of academic degrees, but nonetheless, for almost 30 years now, and at considerable risk to my health and whatever, I have been working on problems of a scientific nature, pondering them, and occasionally I even write scholarly articles, if you can believe that. What I mean is not exactly scholarly, but if you'll excuse the expression, sort of scholarly. As a matter of fact, I've written a very interesting article entitled The Problem with Insects. My daughters liked it a lot, especially the part about the bed bugs. I read it to them. Of course, then I tore it up. Oh, you can write about bed bugs all you want, but, you know, the only thing that will get rid of them is boric acid. And we even had them in the piano. As the subject of my lecture today, I've chosen, I think I may put it that way, the harmful effects which can be observed in human beings as a direct result of indulgence in tobacco. I myself smoke, but my wife told me I should speak about the dangers of tobacco, so there's nothing more to say, is there? Dangers, why not? What do I care? You, on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, will, I hope, devote your serious attention to what I'm about to say. Otherwise, well, I don't really think we'll get anywhere. If there's anyone, by the way, who has qualms about a dry scientific lecture, anyone who doesn't like the idea, feel perfectly free not to listen, you know, or leave if you want to. Let me make a special point to remind any physicians who may be present that my lecture contains many useful observations for them, since tobacco, aside from its harmful effects, is also used as a medicine. For instance, a fly placed in a container of tobacco will die, usually from nervous convulsions. Tobacco is, so to speak, a plant. Whenever I give a lecture, my right eye starts to twitch a little. Sorry. Please pay no attention. It's just nerves. I'm a very nervous man, generally speaking. My eye began twitching in 1889, on September the 13th. Actually, that was the day my wife gave birth to Barbara. That's our fourth daughter. All my daughters were born on the 13th. Nonetheless, since time is short, I think we'd better stick to the subject of our lecture. I should point out, however, that my wife runs a music school and a private boarding school. That is, not exactly what you call a school, but, you know, something, sort of like a school. Now, and just between you and me, my wife likes to complain about never having enough of anything, but the fact is she's managed to put, so to speak, a little something aside. Yeah, maybe 40 or 50,000. Of course, I don't have a penny to my name, but, you know, not one. But what's the point of talking about it? No, at the boarding school, I'm in charge of the housekeeping department. You know, I make all the purchases, take care of the staff, do the accounts, manufacture the students' notebooks, keep the bed bugs under control, walk my wife's dog, catch the mice. Last night, one of my duties was to issue a pre-measured amount of flour and butter to the cook, since the schedule called for pancakes for breakfast. Now, to cut a long story short, today, when the pancakes were ready, my wife sent word down to the kitchen that 3 of our boarders would not be eating pancakes since they had swollen glands. The result of this was that we had a few extra pancakes. Now, what exactly were we supposed to do with those? Well, at first my wife told us to put them in one of the storage cupboards, then she thought it over, and she said, oh, go ahead, eat them yourself, you old bag of bones. That's what she calls me when she's in a bad mood, bag of bones, or sometimes snake in the grass, or sometimes Satan. I asked her, do I look like Satan? She's always in a bad mood. And I tell you what, I didn't just eat those pancakes, I gobbled them down without even chewing because I'm always hungry. Yesterday, for instance, she wouldn't let me have any dinner. You're just an old bag of bones, she said. What's the use of feeding you? However, we seem to be gossiping, so let's, I think we've gone a little off topic. Let's continue. Although I'm sure you'd all rather be listening to some music, some show tunes or an aria. And I shall never waver in the heat of the battle. I can't remember what that's from, exactly, but... Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you that my wife's music school, I'm not only in charge of all the housework, but I also teach all the courses in physics, chemistry, geography, history, solfeggio, literature, and so on. We also offer dance, voice and drawing lessons. My wife charges extra for them, although I am the dancing and voice instructor as well. Our School of Music is located on Mutt Street, number 13, Mutt Street. That's probably why I'm such a failure. Living as I do at number 13, and all my daughters were born on the 13th, and our house has 13 windows. But what's the point of talking about it? If you'd like to discuss any of this with my wife, stop by the school any time. A school catalogue is available from the man at the door, priced threepence a copy. Or you can get them from me if you like. There's, yeah, threepence a copy. Anyone want one? No? Twopence? Yeah, that's right. 13 Mutt Street. Afraid I haven't been much of a success at anything. Yeah. Gotten old and stupid. Yeah. I look perfectly happy up here, but, you know, what I'd really like to do is start screaming at the top of my lungs, you know, or run somewhere where nobody can find me. And there's nobody I can complain to. You know, there are times when I even feel like crying. People say, well, there's always your daughters. What daughters? I try to talk to them, they just laugh at me. My wife has 7 daughters. No, excuse me, no, that's 6. No, 7, yes. Anna, the oldest, she's 27, and the youngest is 17. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not happy. I've grown into a half-wit, a non-wit. But essentially what you see before you is a very happy father. Essentially that's the way it's supposed to be, and I certainly wouldn't want anything different, but oh, if only you knew. I've lived with my wife for 33 years. I can say that those were the best years of my life. Well, not exactly the best, but, you know, so to speak. They have passed, to cut a long story short, in the blink of an eye. And frankly, I don't give a damn anymore. Anyway, I don't think she's here yet, so I can say whatever I feel like. I'm really afraid. She terrifies me whenever she looks at me. And here's another thing. All my daughters are unmarried, and they've been unmarried for a long time, which is probably because they're bashful, but also because men never get a chance to meet them. My wife won't give parties. She never invites anyone to dinner. She's so cheap. She's a hateful, stuck-up old shrew, and that's why no one ever comes to see us. Now, this is just confidential, just between you and me. You can meet my wife's daughters on all major holidays at their Aunt Natalie's. She's the one with the rheumatism. Always wears a yellow dress with little black dots. Makes it look like cockroaches are crawling all over her. But she always serves something to eat, you know, and if my wife's not around, you can also... of course, I have to point out to you that it only takes one little shot to get me drunk, which makes me feel good inside. But at the same time, I get so sad. I can't even tell you. I start thinking about when I was young, for some reason. And for some reason, it makes me want to run away. If only you knew how much it makes me want to run away. Run away, just dump everything and run and never look back. Where? Don't care where. Just run away from this cheap, vulgar, filthy life. It's turned me into a pathetic old wreck. A pathetic old half-wit, and from that stupid, petty, evil miser of a woman I'm married to. Run away from a wife who's tormented me for 33 years. From the music lessons and the kitchen and my wife having all the money and all the ugly, mean things I have to live with. Until I get someplace far away and I'll just stop in a field. Stop in a field and stand there like a tree or a fence post, like a scarecrow, and stare up at the enormous sky. Just looking at the moon, the quiet, shining moon. And just forget about it all. Only I forget about it all. If only I could forget about it all. Well, I could get out of this old waistcoat. Got married in 33 years ago. The one I give lectures in where the proceeds go to charity. But I don't need a thing. I'm better than all of this. And I'm an honest man. I used to be young. I was smart. I went to university. I had dreams. I wanted to be a decent human being. And now I don't want anything. The only thing I need is peace and quiet. Just a little peace and quiet. However, my wife will be waiting for me backstage. She'll be here, she'll be waiting. So, I think my time is up. Yes, so if she asks if you wouldn't mind saying that the lecture, I'd be very grateful if you wouldn't mind saying that the old bag of bones, me, I mean, behaved with dignity. She's watching. As a consequence of which, I mean that tobacco contains a powerful toxic agent, as I've just described. We see that smoking is by no means advisable, and so to speak that my lecture here today on the dangers of tobacco will produce a beneficial effect. That's all I have to say. Dixi et animam levavi.
My God, if it isn't my old friend Ivan Vassilievich. Glad to see you, boy. Glad to see you. Huh. Well, this is certainly a surprise, and that's a fact. How are you doing?
Oh, thanks a lot. And how are you? Doing, I mean?
Oh, we get by, my boy, we get by. Glad to know you think of us occasionally and all the rest of it. Have a seat, my boy. Be my guest. Glad you're here, and all the rest of it. Don't want to forget your old friends and neighbors, you know. But why so formal, boy? What's the occasion? You're all dressed up and everything. You on your way to a party or what?
No, I only came to see you, Stepan Stepanich.
But why the fancy clothes, boy? You look like you're still celebrating New Year's Eve.
Well, I'll tell you. You see, Stepan Stepanich, I hope I'm not disturbing you, but I came to ask you a little favour. This isn't the first time I've had occasion, as they say, to ask for your help, and I want you to know that I really admire you when I do it. What I mean is... Look, you'll have to excuse me, Stepan Stepanich. This is making me very nervous. I think I'll just take a little drink of water, if that's all right with you.
He wants me to lend him some money. I won't. So, what exactly are you here for, hmm? Big, strong boy like you.
You see, I've always had the greatest respect for you, Stepan Respectovich. Excuse me, I mean Stepan Excuse-me-vich. What I mean is, I'm really nervous, as you can plainly see. Well, what it comes down to is this. You're the only person who can give me what I want, and I know I don't deserve it. Of course, that goes without saying, and I haven't any real right to it either.
Now,
but...
my boy, you don't have to beat about the bush with me. Speak right up. What do you want?
All right, I will. What I came for is... I came to ask for the hand of your daughter, Natasha.
Oh, heavens. Ivan Vassilievich. Say it again. I didn't quite catch that last bit.
I came to ask...
Dear boy, I can't tell you how happy I am and everything. And that's a fact. And all the rest of it. I've always hoped this would happen. It's a long-time dream come true. I've always loved you, boy, just like you were my own son. And you know it. God bless you both. And all the rest of it. This is a dream come true. But why am I standing here like an old fool? Happiness has got my tongue. That's what's happened. Happiness has got my tongue. Oh, from the bottom of my heart. You wait right here. I'll go and fetch Natasha. And whatever.
What do you think she'll say, Stepan Stepanich? Do you think she'll say yes?
A handsome fellow like you? How could she help herself? Of course she'll say yes, and that's a fact. She's like a cat in heat, and all the rest of it. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
It's awfully cold in here. I'm starting to shiver just like I was going to take an exam. The main thing is you have to make up your mind. You just keep thinking about it and you argue back and forth and talk a lot and wait for the ideal woman or for true love and you'll never get married. Awfully cold in here. Natasha is a very good housekeeper. She went to school. She's kind of good-looking. What more do I need? I'm starting to get that hum again in my ears. It must be my nerves. And I can't just not get married. First of all, I'm already 35 and they say that's about the turning point. Second of all, I have to start leading a regular, normal life. There's something wrong with my heart. I've got a murmur. I'm always nervous as a tick. And the least little thing can drive me mad. Like right now, for instance. My lips are starting to shudder and this little what's-it keeps twitching in my right eyelid. But the worst thing about me is sleep. Oh, I mean, I don't. I go to bed, and as soon as I start falling asleep, all of a sudden, something in my left side goes dirk, and it pounds right up into my shoulder and my head. I jump out of bed, and I walk around for a while, then I lie down again, and as soon as I start falling asleep, all of a sudden, something in my left side goes dirk, and that happens 20 times a night.
Oh, it's you. It's just you. Father said go take a look in the other room. Somebody wants to sell you something. Oh, well, how are you, anyway?
How do you do, Natasha?
You'll have to excuse me. I'm still in my apron. We were shelling peas. How come you haven't come back to see us for so long? Sit down. Do you feel like something to eat?
No, thanks. I ate already.
Do you smoke? Go ahead if you like. There's matches. Beautiful day today, isn't it? And yesterday it rained so hard the men in the hayfields couldn't do a thing. How many sacks have your people got cut so far? Do you know what happened to me? I got so carried away, I had them cut the whole meadow. And now I'm sorry I did. The hay's going to rot. Oh, my! Look at you! What have you got on those fancy clothes for? Well, if you want something. You going to a party or what? You know, you're looking kind of cute these days. Anyway, what are you all dressed up for?
Well, you see, Natasha. Well, the fact is, I decided to come to ask you to listen to what I have to say. Of course, you'll probably be sort of surprised and maybe even get mad, but it's awfully cold in here.
So, what did you come for then, eh?
I'll try to make this brief. Now, Natasha, you know we've known each other for a long time, ever since we were children, and I've had the pleasure of knowing your entire family. My poor dead aunt and her husband. Well, as you know, I inherited my land from them. They always had the greatest respect for your father and your poor dead mother. The Lomoffs and the Chekhovs have always been on very friendly terms, almost as if we were related. And besides, well, you already know this, your land and mine are right next door to each other. Take my meadowland, for instance. It lies right alongside of your birch grove.
Excuse me, sir, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think you just said my meadowland. Are you saying meadowland belongs to you?
Well, yes, I am.
Well, I never. Meadowland belongs to us, not you.
No, Natasha, meadowland is mine.
That's news to me. Since when is it yours?
What do you mean, since when? I'm talking about the little pasture they call meadowland, the one that makes a wedge between your birch grove and
Burnt Swamp. Yes, I know the one you mean, but it's ours.
Natasha, I think you're making a mistake. That field belongs to me.
Ivan Vasilovich, do you realise what you're saying? And just how long has it belonged to you?
What do you mean, how long? As far as I know, it's always been mine.
Now, wait just a minute. Excuse me,
It's all very clearly marked on the deeds, Natasha. Now, it's true, there was some argument about it a while back, but nowadays everybody knows it belongs to me, so there's no use arguing about it. You see, what happened was, my aunt's grandmother let your grandfather's tenants use that field free of charge for an indefinite time in exchange for their making bricks for her. So your grandfather's people used that land for free for about 40 years, and they started to think it was theirs. But when it turned out what the real situation was...
My grandfather and my great-grandfather both always said that their land went as far as Burnt Swamp, which means meadowland belongs to us. So there's no point in arguing about it. I think you're just being rude.
I can show you the papers, Natalia Stepanova.
Oh, you're just teasing me. You're pulling my leg. This is just a big joke, isn't it? We've owned that land going on 300 years, and now all of a sudden you say it doesn't belong to us. Excuse me, Ivan Vasilovich. Excuse me, but I can't believe you just said that. And believe me, I don't care one bit about that old meadow. It's only 12 acres. It's not worth 300 rubles even, but that's not the point. It's the injustice of it that hurts. And I don't care what anybody says. Injustice is something that I just can't put up with.
But you didn't listen to what I was saying. Please. Your grandfather's tenants, as I was trying very politely to point out, made bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now, my aunt's grandmother just wanted to make things easier.
Grandmother, grandfather, father, what difference does it make? That field belongs to us, and that's that.
That field belongs to me.
The field belongs to us. You can go on about your grandmother until you're blue in the face. You can wear 15 fancy suits. It still belongs to us. It's ours. I don't want anything that belongs to you, but I do want to keep what's my own. Thank you very much.
Natalia Stepanova, I don't care about that field either. I don't need that field. I'm talking about the principle of the thing. If you want the field, you can have it. I'll give it to you.
If there's any giving to be done, I'll do it. That field belongs to us, and that's that. Ivan Vasilovich, I have never gone through anything this ridiculous in all my life. Up until now, I had thought of you as a good neighbour, a real friend. Last year, we even lent you our threshing machine, which meant we were threshing our wheat in November. And now all of a sudden you start treating us like gypsies? You give me my own field? Excuse me, but that's a pretty unneighbourly thing to do. In fact, in my opinion, it's downright insulting.
So, in your opinion, I'm some kind of squatter, you mean? Look, madam, I have never tried to take anybody else's land, and I'm not going to let anybody try and tell me that I did. Not even you. Meadowland is mine.
You lie, it's ours.
It's mine.
You lie, I'll show you. I'll send our mowers out there today.
You're what?
I said I'll have our mowers out there today and they'll mow that field flat.
You do and I'll break their necks.
You wouldn't dare.
Meadowland is mine, do you understand? Mine!
Please don't shout. You can scream and carry on all you want in your own house, but while you're in mine, try to behave like a gentleman.
If I didn't have these murmurs, these awful pains, these veins throbbing in my temples, I wouldn't be talking like this. Meadowland is mine!
Ours!
It's mine!
Ours!
It's mine!
Ours!
Mine!
What's going on? What are you both yelling for?
Father, would you please explain to this gentleman just who owns Meadowland, him or us?
Dear boy, Meadowland belongs to us.
I beg your pardon, Stepan Stepanich, but how can it belong to you? Think what you're saying. My aunt's grandmother let your grandfather's people have that land free of charge, temporarily, and they used that land for 40 years and started thinking it was theirs. But it turned out what the problem was...
Allow me, you're forgetting that the reason that those people didn't pay your granny and all the rest of it was because there was already a real problem about just who did own the meadow and everything. But nowadays, every dog in the village knows it belongs to us, and that's a fact. I don't think you've ever seen the survey map.
Look, I can prove to you that Meadowland belongs to me.
No, you can't, dear boy.
Yes, I can!
Oh, for heaven's sake, what are you shouting for? You can't prove anything by shouting, and that's a fact. Look, I am not interested in taking any of your land. Neither am I interested in giving away any of my own. Why should I? And if it comes down to it, boy, if you want to make a case out of this or anything like that, I'd just as soon give it to the peasants as give it to you. So there.
But you're not making any sense. What gives you the right to give away someone else's land?
I'll be the judge of whether I have the right or not. The fact is, boy, I'm not used to being spoken to in that tone of voice and all the rest of it. I am twice your age, boy, and I will ask you to talk to me without getting so excited and whatever.
No, you just think I'm stupid and you're making fun of me. You sit there and tell me my own land belongs to you and you expect me to be calm and talk as if nothing had happened. That is not the way good neighbours behave, Stepan Stepanich. You are not a neighbour, you are a usurper.
I'm a what? What did you call me?
Father, you send our mowers out to Meadowland right this very minute.
You, boy, what did you call me?
Meadowland belongs to us and we will never give it up. Never, never, never.
We'll see about that. I'll take you to court and then we'll see who it belongs to.
To court? Right, you just go right ahead, boy. You take us to court. I dare you. Now I get it. You were just waiting for a chance to take us to court. And all the rest of it. It's inbred, isn't it? Your whole family was like that. They couldn't wait to start suing. They were always in court, and that's a fact.
You leave my family out of this. The Lomoffs were all decent, law-abiding citizens, every one of them. Not like some people I could name who were arrested for embezzlement. Your uncle, for instance.
Every single one of the Lomoffs was crazy. All of them.
All of them, every single one.
Your uncle was a falling down drunk, and that's a fact. And your aunt, the youngest of them, she used to run around with an architect. An architect, and that's a fact.
Your mother was a hunchback. Oh, my God, I've got a pain in my side. My head's beginning to pound. Give me some water.
And your father was a gambler and a glutton.
And your aunt was a curtain twitcher. She was the worst gossip in town.
My left leg is paralysed. And you're a sneak. Oh, my God, my heart. And everybody knows that during the elections, you people... I've got spots in front of my eyes. Where's my hat?
You're low and lousy and cheap.
You're a low-down, two-faced snake in the grass, and that's a fact, an absolute fact.
Here's my hat. Oh, my heart. I have to get out of here. Where's the door? I'm going to die. I can't move my leg.
Don't you ever set foot in this house again.
You go ahead and take us to court. Go ahead and see what happens.
He can go to hell.
creep. You see if I ever trust a neighbour again after this.
Crook.
Creep. He tries to take over somebody else's land and then has the nerve to threaten them.
And to think that ringworm, that chicken brain, had the nerve to come here and propose. Huh, he proposed.
He proposed what?
Well, he came here to propose to you.
To propose? To me? Why didn't you tell me that before?
That's why he was all dressed up in that stupid suit, silly sausage.
He came to propose to me. Oh, my God, oh, my God. Oh, make him come back, make him come back, please make him come back.
What's the matter? What's the matter with you? Oh, my God. What have I done? Oh, I ought to shoot myself. I ought to be hanged. I ought to be tortured to death.
I think I'm gonna die. Make him come back.
All right, just stop screaming, please.
What have we done? Make him come back. Make him come back.
He's coming. He's coming back and everything. God damn it. You talk to him yourself this time. I can't, and that's a fact.
Make him come back.
I just told you he is coming back. Oh, God almighty. What a thankless task it is to be the father of a grown-up girl. I'll slit my throat, I swear, I'll slit my throat. We yell at the man, we insult him, we chase him away. And it's all your fault. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
All right, I'm sorry, it's my fault. And whatever. This time you talk to him yourself.
I'm having a heart murmur. It's awful. My leg is paralysed. My left side is going...
You'll have to excuse us, Ivan Vasilovich. We got a little bit carried away. Anyway, I just remembered. Meadowland belongs to you, after all.
There's something wrong with my heart. It's beating too loud. Meadowland is mine. These little wotsits are twitching in both eyelids.
It's yours. Meadowland is all yours. Here, sit down. We made a mistake.
It was always just the principle of the thing, Natasha. I don't care about that field, but I do care about the principle of the thing.
No, the principle of the thing. Why don't we talk about something else?
And besides, I really can prove it to you. My aunt's grandmother let your grandfather...
That's enough! Just change the subject. I don't know where to start. How's the hunting? Going hunting anytime soon?
Oh, yes, geese and grouse, Natasha. Geese and grouse hunting. I was thinking of going after the harvest is in. Oh, by the way, did I tell you the worst thing happened to me? You know my old hound, Gesser? Well, he went lame on me.
Oh, no, that's terrible. What happened?
I don't know. He must have dislocated a hip or got into a fight with some of the other dogs and got bit. Oh. And he was the best hound dog. Not to mention how much he cost. I got him from Mironov and I paid 125 for him.
Ivan Vasilovich, you paid too much.
I thought I got him pretty cheap. He's a very good dog.
Father paid only 85 for his hound dog, Messer. Messer is a lot better than your old Gesser.
Messer is better than Gesser? What do you mean? Messer is better than Gesser?
Of course he's better. I mean, he's not fully grown yet. He's still a pup, but when it comes to a bark and a bite, nobody has a better dog.
Excuse me, Natasha, but I think you're forgetting something. He's got an underslung jaw. And a dog with an underslung jaw can't be a good retriever.
An underslung jaw? That's the first I ever heard of it.
I'm telling you, his lower jaw is shorter than his upper.
And what did you do, measure it?
Of course I measured it. I mean, I grant you, he's not so bad on point, but you tell him to go fetch and he can barely even...
In the first place, Messer is purebred from a very good line. He's the son of Pusher and Pisser. So that limp-foot mutt of yours couldn't touch him for breeding. And besides which, your dog is old and ratty and full of fleas.
He may be old, but I wouldn't take 5 of your Messers for him. How can you even say that? Gesser is a real hound, and your Messer is a joke. He's not even worth worrying about. Every old fart in the county's got a dog just like your Messer. There's a mess of them everywhere. You paid 20 rubles, you paid too much.
Ivan Vasilovich, for some reason you are being perverse on purpose. First you claim that Meadowland belongs to you. Now you're saying that Gesser is better than Messer. I don't think much to a man who doesn't say what he knows to be a fact. You know full well that Messer is 100 times better than that stupid Gesser of yours, so why do you keep saying the opposite?
You must think I'm either blind or stupid. Can't you understand? He's got an underslung jaw.
It's not true!
He's got an underslung jaw.
It's not true!
What are you shouting for?
What are you lying for? I can't stand any more of this. You ought to be getting ready to put your old Gesser out of his misery, and here you are comparing him to our Messer.
You'll have to excuse me. I can't go on with this conversation. I'm having a heart murmur.
This just goes to prove what I always thought. The hunters that talk the most are the ones that know the least.
Will you please just do me a favour and shut up?
I will
My
not
heart
shut
is
up
starting
until
to
you
pound.
admit that
You shut
Messer is
up.
100 times better than Gesser.
He's 100 times worse. I hope he croaks, your Messer.
And your
Oh, my
dumb old
leg.
Gesser doesn't need to croak. He's
My
dead
shoulders.
already.
Will you shut up? I'm having a heart attack.
Shut up!
Now what's the matter?
Father, will you please tell us frankly, on your honour, who is the better dog, Gesser or Messer?
Step Stepanich, I only want to know one thing. Does your messer have an underslung jaw or doesn't he? Yes or no?
Well, so what if he does? What difference does it make? There still isn't a better dog in the whole country, and that's a fact.
But don't you think that my guesser is better?
Now, dear boy, don't get all upset. Just wait a minute, please. Your guesser has his good points, and whatever. He's a thoroughbred, he's got a good stance, he's got nice, round hindquarters, and all the rest of it. But that dog, if you really want to know, boy, has got two vital defects.
Oh.
He's old, and he's got a short bite.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm having another heart murmur. Let's just look at the facts, shall we? All I want you to do is think back to that time at the field trials when my guesser kept up with the Count's dog Fresser. They were going ear to ear and your messer was a whole half-mile behind.
He was behind because one of the Count's men whopped him with his whip.
That's not the point. All the other dogs were after the fox and your messer was chasing a sheep.
That's not true.
Ah.
Now, listen, boy. I have a very quick temper, as you well know, and that's a fact. So I think we should keep this discussion very short. He whopped him because none of the rest of you can stand watching other people's dogs perform. You're all rotten with envy. Even you, dear boy, even you. The fact is, all somebody has to do is point out that somebody's dog is better than your guesser, and right away you're starting with this and starting with that and all the rest of it. I happen to remember exactly what happened.
Yeah, I remember too.
And I remember too. What do you remember?
My heart murmur, but my leg is paralysed.
What kind of a hunter are you? You'd be better off in the kitchen catching cockroaches than out hunting foxes. A heart murmur.
Yeah, she's right. What kind of a hunter are you? You and your heart murmur should stay at home instead of galloping across country, and that's a fact. You say you like to hunt. All you really want to do is ride around arguing and interfering with other people's dogs and whatever. You are not, and that's a fact, a hunter.
And what makes you think you're a hunter? The only reason you go hunting is so you can get in good with the Count. You're a sneak. Oh, my heart.
I'm a what? A sneak? Shut up.
A sneak.
You little pipsqueak, you puppy.
You're a rat. A rickety old rat.
You shut up or I'll give you an arse full of buckshot, you snoop.
And everybody knows that your poor dead wife, oh, my heart, used to beat you.
And everybody knows that your
She's
housekeeper has you tied to her apron.
I'm going to faint. Wait, here it comes. Heart attack. Oh, my God, my shoulder just came undone. Where's my shoulder? I'm going to die. Get me a doctor.
Milksucker, pipsqueak, snoop. You make me sick.
What kind of a hunter are you?
Sick.
You can't even ride a horse. What's the matter with him? Father, look at him. Father.
I'm sick. I can't breathe. Give me some air.
He's dead. Ivan Vasilovich! Ivan Vasilovich! Oh, my God, what have we done? Get a doctor! Get a doctor!
Now what? What's the matter with you now?
He's dead! He's dead!
What? Who's dead? Oh, my God. He is dead. Oh, my God. Get some water. Get a doctor.
Now then, just drink this.
He's not drinking it. That means he really is dead. And everything. Oh, what a mess. I'll kill myself. I'll kill myself. Why did I wait so long to kill myself? What am I waiting for now? Get me a knife. Lend me a gun. I think he's going to live.
Here, drink this water. That's the way.
Spots. Everything's all spots. Where am I?
Just get married as soon as you can and get out of here. She says yes. She says yes and all the rest of it. I give you both my blessing and whatever. But please, just leave me in peace.
Huh? What? Who?
She says yes, all right? Go on, give her a kiss.
And then get the hell out of here.
He's alive. Yes. Yes, I say yes.
Go on then, give him a kiss.
Huh? Who? Well, that's very nice. Excuse me, what just happened? Oh, yes, I remember. My heart. Those spots. I'm so happy. Natasha. My leg is still paralyzed.
I'm very happy too.
And I'm getting a weight off my shoulders.
All the same, you can admit it now, can't you? Messer is better than Gesser.
He's worse.
He's better.
He's worse.
He's better.
He's worse.
He's better.
He's worse.
And they lived happily ever after.
He's worse.
He's better.
But he's worse.
Better, better, better.
He's not the
Better.
Worse, worse, worse.
He's better.
He's a worse animal.
He's a better push and a better. He's a better dog.
Sky.com/arts has all the details of all of our Chekhov shorts, with a little bark next, and then classic German espionage drama, Spione, on the way.